Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try one more time to go through creating your tracking text in Adobe After Effects. So again, if you just kind of follow along with me, you should be able to get this done with minimal pain. Let's give it a shot. All right, so first thing we want to do is we want to start our new composition. So I click here on the new composition button. I'm going to call this Practice AE Project, and then I'm going to make sure my preset is HDTV 1080-24 at 24 frames per second, and I'm going to click OK. Now I need to, step one, import in my video. So I'm going to right click here in my manager. Okay. Right click here in my manager, and I'm going to choose Import File. I then am going to go to the folder where I saved this video, which is in my AE Practice project. Remember, we always want to keep our files organized. Mine is called Video MP4, and so I'm going to open it. Okay, there's my video. I can drag it right down onto my timeline. Okay, I'm going to make sure that snapping is turned on up here in the top of the screen. And then I'm going to drag my video so it's right there at the beginning. Step two then is to add your text layer. So up here on the toolbar, we are going to get the horizontal type tool. Select it. I'll click here on my workspace and I will simply type my name. Okay, now remember, you can change all this up. If I want to highlight it, I can change the font over here on the right in the effects panel. Right, and I can choose any of the fonts that I've preloaded into the software or that came with it. I can change the font right here by clicking and holding and dragging to the right. I make it larger. I can also make it smaller. Now, since mine's called Slimed, I'm going to go ahead and come in here and I am going to give it kind of an obnoxious green outline. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now, because mine's going to grow and shrink, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Third step then is to come down here onto your timeline, right click and add your new null object. There we go. Okay, remember that null object doesn't matter where it's at, how big or small it is simply there to connect everything together. All right, with all that being done, I'm going to select on the video in the timeline. And I'm going to come over here to my effects panel and choose the tracker. I'm going to track motion, and then because I want it to grow as well as move, I want to track for position and scale. Here on the screen then, that gives me my true track points. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to move those to two high contrast areas on the screen. Now remember that for your project, if you don't have a lot of contrast on your video, this may not work. Now I just realized that I made one mistake. I actually need to go back here first to hit Edit Target. That way it applies the target to null 1. I click OK, and then I can move these over to my high contrast areas. Remember, just like I told you the other day, it's all about making sure you hit every step. Luckily, I was just able to hit Command Z and back it up. So track point 1 is my movement track. Track point 2 is going to be my scaling track. So I'll put it right up here and we'll give those a shot. All right, I change my tolerance squares to give it a little bit more to track on. Then I'm going to come back here and make sure my screen is fit. That way I can see the whole thing. I want to come back to my composition really quick, make sure I change it from full to third or qual. I'll come back to my video layer and I'm going to see how it works. So I hit the play button here on the right and I watch my track points move. If it works correctly, my track point should stay on or near the objects I placed them on. Now we can see track point 2 has already kind of moved, but that's all right. It's still staying basically on the object where I want it. So as long as it stays close, I should be good to go. Reason that it moved a little bit was because of that tolerance box that I opened up, so it knows it needs to stay on that black Jeep. It just happened to move down there towards the edge of the hood. Okay, we see track point 2 gets lost, track point 1 gets lost there at the end as the Jeep goes off the screen, but that looks pretty good. So if you're happy with it, you click apply. You're going to apply it to both X and Y because I have 2 of them selected. I'm going to click OK. That then brings me back to my composition. I come back here to the beginning, and the last step is going to be, I'm going to spin up my video. I'm going to connect my text by clicking on the pick whip. Boy, that's a mouthful. And I'm going to drag it to the